Hello. So I'm not exactly planning what is coming through this recording right now. I just sort of felt the pull to push record, so here we are. I have noticed yesterday and today kiwi fruit popped in, and like a friend offered me kiwi, and then I went somewhere today and my other friend was like, oh, there's like extra kiwi, eat some kiwi. And like, mind you, I have not had kiwi in I don't even know how long, so it's just synchronistic and interesting with I didn't mean to say synchronistic, I meant to say something else. So maybe someone here is experiencing like more synchronistic flow, or perhaps that's something you're calling in. It might be different for each of you. So I decided to see New Zealand could be relevant for someone, or like, you know, wine from New Zealand. Like there's something about New Zealand. And let's see, so I just googled kiwi spiritual meaning, and it says sacred fruit. The kiwi fruit is considered sacred in many cultures, especially in China, New Zealand, and Italy. Health and well-being. Kiwi fruit can symbolize health, generosity, well-being, kindness, and openness. Luck and energy. The kiwi fruit can symbolize luck, youth, energy, strength, and unity with nature. Lovely. It's interesting, youth is coming up. I just recently had a birthday, and it's just interesting to see birthdays and what people say, you know, like, and I'm not sure why I'm sharing this, but if my mom ever listens to this, I feel like because of my birthday age, I think she was like, oh my God, like I have a daughter who's, 37, like how I'm so old. So then she started going through this like little, not a crisis, just, like, oh my God. I did not expect to be talking about this, but yeah, maybe there's something about age that's coming up for you a lot lately. Like, thinking you're supposed to be, what's that word? I'm trying to say, I keep hearing the word committed, but that's not what I'm trying to say. So yeah, maybe there's something about like commitment, fear of commitment. I don't know if you just heard the dryer went off. So yeah, there could be something about this, like, whether it's commitment in relationships, to a certain quote unquote stable location or stable home. Like there's something about like commitment in general. And it feels like it's coming in like multiple ways. Like you could feel connected to someone with a fear of commitment. There's also this energy that's been coming up about like pressure to conform. And someone I listened to was also on YouTube just speaking about this. So it seems to be a very relevant energy at the moment. I just want to sit with this a moment and see what else comes through. I just heard the song in my head from, I think it's the Stones. You get what you need. You can't always get what you want. Yeah, so there could be I'm actually not sure where that's coming through, so we'll see if something else weaves itself in. I just saw 440 on the timer. There's also been feeling like this my throat, like an uncomfortability in my throat and my chest, and lots of itching. So like my skin, I was talking about this in last transmission, so yeah, lots of shedding energy, shedding skin, something that came through for me a few years ago, and perhaps it's come through for you as well, or maybe you've heard others speak about it. Releasing like a sheath, an energetic sheath, or a sheath of an essence of yourself. Yeah, I feel like this message is coming in like choppy, and I just heard like choppy water, so it's like something feels a bit choppy. Maybe someone here is like chopping vegetables, or chopping something, but there's like, I'm seeing carrots, but there's something, about like choppy, something feels very choppy. So with a release or an energetic imprint, or releasing a sheath, there can be many names for this, but maybe you're feeling called to, or either do this, or maybe you just did this, of some sort of release type of meditation, or however you do your releasing, a burning ritual, some sort of ritual. Maybe before you go to sleep, like setting the intention that you're ready to release this layer or this sheath. And if you're someone who's like, I'm not really sure how to do this or what to do, feel free to like comment. And I might even have on my YouTube already like a releasing sheath like meditation. If not, I would love to do one. So if anyone's interested, let me know. And for some of you, it's already just happening. Like some of you have already like initiated this and have been doing this consciously. Some of you are just having this happen, and maybe you're like, whoa, I feel like there's part of me missing and I don't know what it is. So each of you will be in a different place. And yeah, so this sheath release, and I keep being taken back to the heart space. So you could be really attracted to like, right, kiwis are green, like green fruits, green foods, chlorophyll. I already brought up carrots, which, like feeding the womb area too. So like peaches, gold, so like sacral and heart frequency energy coming through. I was just meditating before I recorded, and I was listening to, what does she call herself? Aurelia codes, I believe. Sometimes I just like to have her, she does like frequency sound on in the background. She works a lot with like the crystalline frequencies, crystalline codes, and like plasma liquid light, which is something I often tune into and bring through these transmissions energetically. Like that's a lot of where my intentions are anchored in. And so yeah, in case anyone was looking for, or maybe you already listened to her as well, but anyway, so I was meditating, doing some movement. I felt like my body just needed some light stretching and movement. And when I opened my eyes, it was right around sunset, and the sky just looked so beautiful. And that's one of my favorite times of the day, like sunset into is it twilight? I always confuse like dusk, like twilight, dusk. I think that's the correct time. Or yeah. And the clouds, like when I was looking at the clouds, I felt like I was looking at like I was about to say oh my gosh, I have like 4 different words intersecting right now. Angelite. I heard Angelina, I don't know, maybe that's someone's name or initials, but I was trying to say Angelite. I also heard Evangeline like literally all at the same time. So Angelite, working with Angelite could be something you've been feeling called to. Meditating on Angelite, or those that color scheme of angelite could be helpful in, whatever process you're going through. Angelite is a blue crystal, I just Googled, that symbolizes love, light, and spiritual awareness. It's also known as, quote, the stone of awareness, and, quote, stone of angelic connection. Spiritual meaning can be connection with angels, spiritual awareness, peace and tranquility, compassion and acceptance. Can assist with stress relief, throat chakra, which I was saying my throat felt so... That's been happening a lot lately, like lots of release through the throat, the chest. And also, working with communication, self-expression, and helping people to speak their truth. I just heard healing truth. And I keep getting, I just got it right now. I'm going to call them truth chills. When you get that feeling of, it can come through differently for everyone. But for me, it's like my legs get these it's like these extra layer of chills. So there could be like deeper communication with your actual body, your physical body, and receiving these. Now, if you're someone who's already very tuned into this, there could just be, I feel like the phrase rose-colored glasses keeps coming up, perhaps some sort of protective layer that you put on yourself. Which it can even have manifested in actual weight, maybe you've been having a hard time losing weight. It could come through in different ways, but it feels like there's some sort of protective armor. Again, choosing to look through rose-colored glasses because it just didn't feel like the right time to sort of break that veil, if you will, or shed that layer, or any other analogy or type of metaphor you'd like to insert. But it does feel like now there's this clicking into place where it feels more safe. Maybe you've been working with your body, or you're feeling called to self-soothe, reminding your body it's safe, really understanding flight, fight, freeze, and then thrive, this type of thing. There could just be this deepening of safety, or neutrality. Something that maybe before was very emotionally overwhelming, that now you're coming to a place, or you just have, or you will be in the future or near future, coming to a place of more neutrality. And then this, layer or sheath, etc., is being released. And it can feel a little vulnerable and new. It's when you maybe someone here recently has burned their skin, or maybe you were just looking at a burn that hasn't healed from a while ago. It could be different, but there's something about the skin. And I was talking about releasing through the skin, having some sort of maybe rashes or bites, or out here to boil, and different things. Again, that's purging out. And so, if you burn your skin, and then underneath, when there's that cracking, you have that brand new, really fresh, new, sensitive skin. So it could be that also metaphorically, emotionally, you could just be feeling a little bit more vulnerable than usual, or sensitive in terms of anything that feels just it still needs to be protected a little bit. Although, again, with that heart energy, there is an opening. Sort of what I've been feeling. Okay, let's see what else is coming through. I was just taken to a transmission I did maybe a month or two ago, the Unicorn Monoceros, if I'm saying that correctly. There could be something there. .411 on the timer. It feels also that you are calling in, or you just called in, some sort of information that is going to assist you in something that you've been needing assistance in. So it will be different for everyone, but if you've just been asking for help in a certain area, or trying to find certain information, or maybe like information again that gives you that like knowing or truth, like that like maybe you've been sifting through different types of information, and again, this could be about like anything. It feels very general. It's like that's coming in, or it just did, and you were asking like, is this the information that is best for my highest good or my highest truth? And I'm hearing yes. So again, it will be different for each of you. I was just shown this movie. I honestly don't remember what it's called. Let me see if I can find it. It's called Slumberland. Whoa. I don't know if you just heard that. I'm outside on a balcony and someone just started playing music super loudly. I think it's a boat. And it's funny because in the movie, she lives, I don't know if you've seen it, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. This little girl lives, I think it's Alaska. I might not be right about that, but by a lighthouse, and her dad is like the protector of the, caretaker of this lighthouse. And it's a lot about like dark water, and right now it's nighttime when I'm recording, and I can see I'm sitting in front of a river, so yeah, it's like this dark water is, again, there's choppy water that's coming through again. Anyway, so in this movie, if you're not familiar, yeah, there's this little girl like loses her dad, and it's all about like she has to live with her uncle, and it's really interesting in terms of like thinking about the themes of the movie, because the uncle, I don't want to give it away in case you haven't seen it, but basically astral projection, lucid dreaming, some of these things could be coming up. Again, whether you're completely brand new to these practices or whether you've been doing it for 50 years, there's something that is being like, I want to say, shifted or illuminated within these practices. So, soul retrieval, again, this like sheath energy and releasing. So there could have been like a recent or in the recent future soul retrieval coming through, where you'll be able to sort of come back to a feeling of this wholeness, or you've been feeling this, and then it's, again, that safety element. It's like then you, of course, each person will be at a different spot in timing with this, but then there's like an integration process, like right once we retrieve the soul fragment or element, then there's again that release process, the integration process. I don't know, maybe someone here is like really into shamanic practice right now, because maybe people have been like practicing or asking about this, and so as we then have the integration process, then there's that reunification, feeling of wholeness, and then to co-create from that space. So yeah. Really interesting. I'm trying to see, as I say that, I look up and there's a plane that was like flying through a cloud, and it looked really hazy and foggy. I just heard in my head, like, don't push it. So let's say if you're trying to, see beyond something, whether it's, again, through astral projection or some other remote viewing, whatever it is, and this is just an example, you keep getting fog or something feels foggy or hazy, or you're just getting like an imprint or a snapshot, but it's not like fully in focus yet. Always trust yourself, of course, but I am hearing like try not to push it, because you are like attuning your antenna, your frequency, correcting the positioning of your Merkaba, your light body, to be able to like attune to the frequency of your highest truth. So if you maybe try to push it too early or too soon, it could be like overwhelming to your system. I know that's very specific, so only take that if it feels good for you. But continue like practicing however that feels good to you. And if you have more specific questions, like please feel free to comment and I can be more specific. But it's generally like this feeling of like showing up for yourself, showing up for the practice. And, you know, if it's something you like to do, to write down your experiences or to record your experiences or illustrate your experiences, etc. There's many ways to do this. Utilizing tarot and oracle to bring through messages after your experience. Like, I'm just hearing continue cultivating this, because there will be a more clear or transparent lens view, and that sometimes these experiences are not linear. So you could have also had like the most clear experience, let's say, I don't know, I heard 12 months ago, a year ago, and now you're like, oh, I've lost it, I can't get back there. Again, these are just different scenarios that could be happening. I'm hearing you haven't lost anything. You know, we go through different periods and cycles, and sometimes we are drawn to maybe focus more on, let's say, a more 3D aspect of a cycle that you are focusing on. So perhaps if you were just lucid dreaming or astral projecting all the time, maybe you wouldn't be getting anything done. So it's like, yeah, it's just like trust where you're being called to focus on, and trust that each moment that you need something, it will show itself in that, if you want to call it divine timing. I honestly feel like I'm not making sense right now. I feel like I'm talking in circles, but like this is the way the energy is coming through. So I'm going to do my best to trust it. Okay. I just heard the multiverse, but in like an English accent. I'm not exactly sure why. Multiverse. Oh, hear that horn? I'm hearing a song in my head. It's funny, I was just talking about this with my friend. My grandfather used to sing a song when I was little. Moonbeams. Carry moonbeams home in a jar. How would you like to swing on a star and carry moonbeams home in a jar? Yeah, oh my God, wow. So there could be like a grandparent from, like a grandparent in spirit, whether this lifetime or another lifetime that you're connecting with, if you're tuning into like, you know, non-linear soul incarnations or experiences. Yeah, there could be that. I'm also seeing the Jungle Book. But yeah, there's something about this reaching out. Maybe there's something about like whether it's grandparents or just when you were younger is coming through a lot, about maybe you felt connected to like other realms, you know, like other universes, whatever it is. And there's something about like that youthful, playful spirit like coming through. And like for me, my grandfather, like I'm so grateful for him now. I mean, he passed or transitioned, whatever you want to call it, when I was like 9. And I still remember so much about him and like the stories he used to tell and his imagination, and or what we would call, what everyone around him called imagination. Anyway, and it's just like, yeah, there's something about like keeping that youthful spirit alive. I want to do a Patreon overflow for this, although to be honest, usually I have like a theme. I don't really have one right now, so I most likely will tune into the Ascension Glossary or this other glossary. A client / friend, you know who you are if you hear this, thank you so much. She sent me a new person that I've been looking into some of their work. She calls herself Maya, and I can't remember what she calls the rest of her, but I will link it below if I decide to tune into her. But yeah, I'll probably look into some sort of like higher ascension mechanic aspect of what we've been talking about, and then dive deeper into it on Patreon. So if that calls to you, then there will be a link below. But yeah, I feel like that is all that's coming through at the moment. So I'm just going to end it here. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. And feel free to share anything that came up for you if you feel so called.